Yo, what's happening, people? And welcome back to the Tiki Taka podcast, where you're going to hear hot takes, unbiased opinions, and hopefully have a couple laughs along the way.
Yes.
And if you are watching this, please like the video, drop a comment, and subscribe, because 50% of the people watching our content on YouTube aren't even subscribed.
Step up, guys. Come on.
I have the stats to back it up.
The metrics.
If I find a way to put that on the screen right now, I'll put that on the screen. But 50% of you are just, it's easy. It's one click. It's free. Helps us out. So please do that.
Yeah, definitely.
And without further ado, we'll get into the podcast. Now, we're going to start this week with the Arsenal game, because Arsenal went to Leicester in the 12:30
chronological order, you could say. Well, actually, we'll start with
Well,
Chelsea
yeah.
then.
It was a close one though. I could have picked Chelsea, but
we'll don't worry.
Yeah, we'll warm up.
You got to open up the bottle of wine before you got to let it breathe.
And guys, audience retention. They want to hear us kill Chelsea, so stay. But post Dubai, the 8-day break or whatever. And the whole time Arsenal were in Dubai, all the content they were posting, it was just annoying me even more. Seeing players smiling out in Dubai. Warm weather training. Havertz is out for the season because Arteta's made them go too ham in the pressing drill. And the game was much more difficult than I was expecting. I said to Michael, look, if we've gone to Dubai, this game needs to be done by half time.
Yeah.
I need to be relaxing.
Chilling.
Yeah, understand that, okay, they've just been to Dubai and they've dealt with Leicester.
I also think that this was one of those games where you say our game needs to be done by half time. That just really means one goal. You need to be one goal up.
I would have taken that.
You need to be one goal up versus Leicester by half time, and think like, obviously anybody can have anything in one goal game of football, but like I thought if Arsenal got 1-0 up at half time, you just got to sit back. Not even sit back, but like absorb, play smart, and the second opportunity will present itself.
Yeah, 100%.
You know?
And that obviously wasn't the case. Came to 70, 75 minutes, 0-0.
Some start to come on.
And then Thomas Partey, who's safe to say didn't have his best game.
Yeah.
After all the hype I gave him after the City game, he didn't have his best game. He was all right. He was progressing the ball forward. He was doing the things I want Thomas to do, but he was also doing the things that I don't like Thomas doing. And he decided to give it up to Ayew with Timber completely out of position.
Yeah. And not have the legs. Not just give it up to Ayew.
Yeah.
Not have the legs to.
And I was just seeing a penalty. Like as Ayew and Partey are running to that corner, Partey's closing the gap. Ayew's getting to the box. I'm just seeing Partey give away a penalty. Jamie Vardy then stepping up, but Ayew gets the ball across. Lewis Skelly's foot kind of gets stuck in the ground, and then he just about moves his foot, and that was as big as obviously the goal scorers and winning the game, because had we gone 1-0 down,
it's over.
We know what that's like.
It's
so
over.
Shout out to Lewis Skelly. And then I think 4 minutes later, the Arteta masterclass. Marine 9. 9
Merino. Yeah. 9 Merino.
We found the answer. We found our solution. Comes on. Quality ball from Ethan Nwaneri. He can't put it in a better position, really. But Marino still needs to do his part and head that in. And it's a great header. It's a great header to put up on the
man. I think this was one of those games where, like you going into the game, I was kind of hoping that we could get this one done early. And Leicester away isn't the worst game to play after a 9-10 day break in Dubai, warm weather training. There was a lot of like fan theory after what we've done last year that we were just going to come back and that's it now. We're just going to be on it, locked it. Five every game. So as the game was dragging on, I was really sort of disgusted. I was just like, oh, this is a 0-0. It's going to be one of those games where it's all over and done with. The Havertz injury compounded by the draw at Leicester just means that everything's over now and dark days for the next couple of weeks. So this goal, boy, did this goal shoot.
Yeah.
Adrenaline into my veins.
The dopamine rush.
Yeah, dopamine rush I can't describe. I think as well the Ethan part of it all, it plays a massive factor. And the surprise factor with Merino as like being a decent number 9.
Well, we'll get onto Ethan for sure, but then Merino's second goal.
But the Merino second goal is the goal that we have sort of been not asking Merino, but semi-expecting Merino to score. In the sense of like...
or asking my striker to score.
Asking your striker to score, but hoping left-footed Spanish guy. Those ones
yeah.
that fall in and around
Brentford.
Yeah, in and around the penalty area. Can you have some technical nous?
Yeah.
Can you bring that one home? But the
Find
finish,
the corner.
the finish is ridiculous.
It's a good finish. It bounces right in front of him.
Bro, it's a great finish, man. He just comes up.
Yeah.
Marino, unlike Havertz,
but you need to give some praise for the ball as well.
Yeah. Trossard's done very well.
Top.
Trossard's done very, very well. Unlike Havertz, Marino, and this is obviously only going off this 20-minute cameo.
Yeah.
Because that's all we have to go off.
Yeah.
As the number 9, but
some of these cameo.
Some of these chances where I know Havertz isn't going to produce his best finish, and we're both Havertz guys.
Yeah.
So that doesn't need to be said. But these, for example, when Merino sees the ball coming all the way across.
Yeah.
I like the fact that he's still got the composure.
Yeah.
He's still got the, I know what to do here.
I mean, so the second one, I don't even know if Havertz is in that position.
I was going to say it's very good for Marino.
Right. Havertz is probably just won an aerial duel on the edge of our box.
I think if you watch the second goal back, it's very good for Marino to, as soon as Calafiori dishes it out to Trossard.
Yeah, Marino makes his run to the box.
But it's not even he doesn't just make his run to the box. He doesn't make I'm going to run straight down, straight into the center of the box where Christensen and the other set, Wout Faes are there to pick me up. Marino's the whole time, he's hanging out on the far right. He's hanging out on the far right. And then obviously Trossard gets into a crossing position, and by the time Christensen realizes where Marino is, he's the only guy in the box. He's the only guy in the box, but he's
Marino, he's also asking Trossard to play the most difficult ball.
He is. He's putting a lot of faith in Trossard.
Yeah, because I don't know if Havertz is asking Trossard to play that ball. But even the first one, I don't know if Havertz scores that.
Yeah,
I think Havertz might be in that position.
Comes off his shoulder,
like you say. It's a great header.
Comes off his shoulder.
Yeah.
This is, as I say, the contacts on the ball that Marino's been getting for these 2 goals, I could never expect of Havertz.
Yeah.
It might go in, but it's not because
pretty clean.
Exactly. It's not because Havertz is just plucked that one out the air and Havertz has just side footed that one in. It's taken 2 or 3 bounces, 2 ricochets, and it's gone in.
Havertz scores the harder one.
Yeah. Look, I think the cameo is ridiculous. What I was going to ask, because obviously we're going to come on to Ethan and everything else, is obviously fans are clamoring for Marino to start the next game as a striker. And I need to first say my bad, or first say some context. On the chat, I did say that I am fully on board with the Marino false 9 thing if it means no minutes for Sterling again. Because Sterling obviously had a terrible performance.
Yeah.
But how on board are you with the Marino false 9 thing? And also, do you think, and part of my twofold question, how on board are you? And then twofold, do you think that it works for 70 plus minutes, from the start? Or is it better 20 minutes, 15 minutes, 10 minutes at the end, where he can be impactful and the defense is maybe on tired legs or wherever it is? Or do you think from the start, is it Marino comes in, we might be 2 goals up by half time and we can chill out?
Yeah. I mean, ultimately, I really have no idea, right? Because my sample size is
so small.
Minutes,
but this is the decision Arteta has to make.
Agreed. But I'm with those same group of fans you talk about clamoring for Marino to start number 9 against West Ham this weekend, because I can't
bear to stand.
In my mind, there's not another option. Yeah, we'll keep it a buck. Raheem Sterling, that was one of the worst, wing performances I've seen in a long.
It's one of the worst Arsenal performances I've seen in an Arsenal shirt.
And we've had to take Martinelli off the desk.
Yeah.
Right, but I said on the chat, the Sterling performance was making me appreciate Martinelli.
I said on that chat, Sterling can't come out after half time. Can't come out.
Yeah, agreed. And the fact that and we had a conversation about this off air, that Trossard is just so much better on the left
wing
than he is anywhere else on the football pitch.
Yeah.
False 9, 10, right wing. He's so much better on that left-hand side that you just keep him there and you start Marino, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. There's not another option for me.
I'm 50-50 on it, because I 100% agree with you. I'm on board with the Marino false 9 thing because I don't really see Sterling as an option. However, I do think that if you bench Sterling for Marino, and a lot of fans might say I already expect this anyway. I think if you bench Sterling for Marino, you can expect nothing from Sterling for the rest of the season. His confidence is already low, as we could see last weekend.
What have we got?
I
from
know.
Sterling?
His confidence is already low,
Yeah.
as you can see last season. And if you bench him for someone who's never played, who's come out and admitted that last time I played striker, I was 8 years old.
Yeah. But he's just back too.
Yeah. So if you bench him for someone that's never played, the minutes we can give Sterling are only like leg resting minutes for Trossard or leg resting minutes for Ethan or all the. And I get a lot of fans will say that's probably only what Sterling's good for. I do think that if you give Sterling another start and maybe he gets some change out of a West Ham defender, gets an assist or something, that there could be.
But it's going to be Wan-Bissaka.
I know. That's so your answer.
And it means that
West Ham are a physical team. They're tall as well, so it's not like it's a game suited for Sterling.
But I hear your point, because I part of me does think that Arteta is going to start Sterling.
If you start Sterling now and Sterling gets not even a goal and not even an assist, but just a genuine contribution in the game where it's like Sterling's putting a good 45, 50 minutes. Or a decent 45, 50 minutes. The next game and the game's moving on, we might be able to get something out of him. We might be able to think that Sterling, he himself might think, I'm not in great form, but, I've got a little something going on right now. Let me see what I've got. If you drop Sterling and Marino starts as number 9 and Trossard starts left wing, which I'm not against. I'm here for that. Expect nothing from Sterling. Sterling is Saudi move. Lock that in.
Look, I agree, and I think I do think Arteta might do the I love my players, full faith. Sterling and Merino lost 20 minutes, half an hour, whatever. But I was watching one of Robbie talk about the game, because Robbie was at the stadium, and he was saying that the Arsenal fans were getting right there on the edge with Sterling. He was saying that he himself wanted Arteta to take him off.
Yeah.
Because he could feel it building in the away end.
It was bad.
At Leicester.
It was bad.
Chelsea, and I've been there at the Emirates when guys are losing the Iwobi.
Yeah.
Groans and the fans are getting on your back. And just for Sterling's sake, it's probably better to take him off. If he starts Sterling next week, Wan-Bissaka's just not the person Sterling should be up against. At the Emirates with the home crowd, they're already a bit. I think that you might just kill him if you do that.
So it's kind of a damned if you do, damned if you don't type situation. But that's my thing. Look, I agree that West Ham isn't the perfect suitor. Their physical team, Dawson and all these guys, Kilman and whoever's going to be in there. And but the only saving grace is that we're at home and that hopefully we should have the ball. Yeah. And I agree that I think somewhat West Ham are preparing for Merino to play to play as the number 9. And Graham Potter's telling those guys, I think he's going to go with a more physical body and all this kind of stuff. He's watched the game that we've watched, and Sterling was nowhere in it. So I just think that I agree, Wan-Bissaka can easily clamp up Sterling. Sterling could have zero confidence moving forward, but I know for a fact if Sterling doesn't start, I mean, it's kind of crazy, the whole Sterling situation to begin with anyway, because we played him on the right wing. Now with Saka's injuries and other injuries, Martinelli's injuries, all this kind of stuff, we have to play him on the left wing, his preferred position, and we got his worst performance in his preferred position. So it's it's tough to justify starting him again there. But I do just think as Arsenal fans, to look down the line, kind of like the Jesus moment where we counted out Jesus and we were all coming on here saying that Jesus is done. We're never going to get a single goal from Jesus again. I do think for anything to really, really kick off this season, we're going to need 1 or 2 big goals from Sterling. A goal. Maybe not big goals, but goals from Sterling.
Yeah. But Jesus had to bide his time.
Jesus did have to buy his time. Jesus did have to wait. He did have to there was a lot of faith from Arteta as well. There was a lot of just Jesus start again and bang. Jesus has to start again. And my whole thing is maybe Sterling is a consummate professional. Maybe Merino can start and Sterling can just accept that it's not really my time right now, and in a couple games time maybe it will be. But when we start getting players back, I want to see less and less of Sterling.
Yeah.
So it's this 4-game stretch.
Can you not play Merino there after he's just back too?
But that's the thing is I think maybe you can suffer with 50 minutes of Sterling, and if it doesn't work out, I'll take him off earlier. For example, Arteta took him off at the 60-something minute.
But you yourself know.
I know. It's tough.
Or we don't know, but you yourself think we have a better chance if Merino plays as well.
So that's the thing is, if Merino starts, do we end up 2 goals up maybe, or goal up in the first half, and then we can start to make different substitutions and whoever comes on as a more of a defensive minded sort of Jorginho, whoever comes on as a defensive minded substitution, is that better? Or is it one of these ones where it's like, we see what Sterling can give us, and if it's a 0-0 by the 60th minute, we bring on Merino, and
I think it's as simple as you just pick the team that you think can win the game.
Most likely can win the game.
And for me right now, that would be Merino there.
And I agree with you. So
that's the team you pick from the start.
And I agree with that. But now my point still remains of Arteta must know on some level. Arteta's talked about internal solutions. He must know at some point, I'm going to need more than one Premier League assist from Raheem Sterling. And
yeah, I hope Sterling knows that.
Yeah.
Not just Arteta, because Sterling, like, I need to see you if you do start against West Ham, and how about you just show us that you.
But that's all Sterling will be asking for. I do think that part of Sterling has gone into Arteta's room and leveled with him and just said, I know, Saturday wasn't good enough. I was nowhere near my best, and there's almost zero explanation for me why Sterling could be so poor. Yeah,
against.
Leicester,
not James Justin.
Yeah, I know. Bottom of the
James
next
Justin
man, Koulibaly, the step up.
Koulibaly, how many Premier starts does that guy have?
But I do think that Sterling has gone to Arteta on Sunday or Monday and sat down and said, "Please just give me one more chance. Please just give me one more chance. Please just give me one more chance."
I mean, we're trying to hang on the coattails of a title.
For example, I don't think...
And we're doing charity.
Well, that's what we have right now. For example,
Merino.
I don't think that Forest away Wednesday night is a Sterling game at all. So that one he has to miss out.
But it's West Ham a Sterling game.
It's more of a Sterling game than
Wan-Bissaka.
It's more of a Sterling game than Oliena or
for a 1v1 match. Koulibaly just locked him up.
Look, I'm not like, I don't have my feet firmly in one camp.
I think you let Sterling come off the bench and you let Sterling try and prove something off the bench.
Yeah, as I said, I don't have my feet firmly in one camp where it's like, I'm Sterling must start. I don't think anybody can have that game of football as an Arsenal fan and be like, yeah, Sterling must start the next one.
Because essentially you've done it the other way around as well, innit? You've told Merino, okay, you have your time off the bench to show that, like,
yeah, you can do this.
Something. Sterling, you have the start. Merino's come on and done it. Sterling's dropped the worst performance we might have ever seen. So now against West Ham, you probably give Merino the start, and you should tell Sterling you can come off from the bench and show us that you might have.
Yeah, it's true, and maybe you know what, I'm here trying to protect Sterling's confidence. Maybe Merino's big goals are the goals that we need to get through this period.
Sterling's 30, bro.
Marino's 28,
protecting Sterling's confidence, like. He's a big man, Premier League winner.
But that's for me the only explanation as to why the performance could be so poor. That's the only explanation.
What, confidence?
Yeah.
Or he's just lost it.
There's losing it. Like Sterling could have been a 5 out of 10, and I could say, yeah, Sterling's just not the same guy. He's lost it.
For me,
Sterling was like he's like a 2 out of 10. There's like no redeeming qualities from that performance.
It's not so much that he's lost it. I said this to you on Sunday that I just don't think he's that interested in football anymore. And I'm not even holding that against him. We said about Eden Hazard when Eden Hazard retired, cool, and also Sterling's been in the game since he was 16.
he's got the money, he's got everything.
Right? But he's essentially been not even that. It's just like when you're in the game from that young, like a lot of people talk about Mo Salah, but Mo Salah didn't really hit a peak till
25 or whatever it was,
right?
Yeah.
So he's had 6 years at the top or whatever. Sterling's had close to 15 years at the top of the game. I understand it if you're kind of done with football.
But I actually don't think Sterling's kind of done with football. And I'm not mad at that take. I think the reason I think it's a confidence thing is because for Sterling's thought, I'm obviously going to play a squad role at Arsenal when I've come in. Saka and Martinelli are sort of starters here and all this kind of stuff. But I think it's the emergence of the young talent. And this is a good segue into Ethan.
Yeah.
I think it's the emergence of Lewis Kelly and Ethan and some of the other guys that we probably have bubbling up, that is Sterling is looking at things like Sterling. You're saying he's a big man. You're saying he's a professional. He's been there for however many years. There's no way Sterling can be looking at Ethan's numbers and be accepting of that fact. Like, yes, Ethan's a quality player.
Unless he's done with football.
Yes, yeah, exactly. So maybe to your point, but then maybe also to my point that, like, I think Sterling's thought that bar Saka, bar Martinelli, bar Trossard, doing Martinelli and Trossard, you could both argue are like the same half of the coin starters.
Yeah.
Sterling's probably thought, I'm the next guy.
Yeah.
If anybody's injured, I can prove myself. I can go there and I can sort of show what I'm about. He came and said, you're going to get the best of me type stuff.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think Sterling's. It's maybe we're saying the same thing. Maybe the level has risen so much, and Sterling's just he's looking at things now and he's like, "Oh, I'm actually not at the level. Like I thought I was. I thought I could compete. I thought."
Where do you think? Obviously, Arsenal aren't going to sign him. Where do you think Sterling's next move is?
Saudi. Saudi.
That kind of tells you that maybe it's the love for football is not.
But I don't know if Sterling, as I say, I don't know. I am a fan of Sterling. I've been a fan of Sterling throughout his career. So there's a little bit of bias in me saying that I'm not ready to say that Sterling doesn't love football anymore. But I am fully ready to say that I think the emergence of a lot of these young wingers in the league and the talent, especially within Arsenal, because Sterling's at Arsenal, maybe within Chelsea as well. Maybe it's like Sterling thought he was leaving City and was guaranteed starting positions at these clubs.
Yeah.
And now he's moved to 2 clubs. And he's lower down the rank every transfer.
Yeah.
And every young gun is outperforming
but then
him.
I'm looking at him like,
are you giving everything?
I'm not giving you that leeway because of the thing like you're 30, you're 4 to 5-time Premier League winner.
I agree.
And you weren't giving Rashford that leeway.
But I don't think Arteta's given him that leeway.
Like you were ready to tell Rashford that he's fallen out of love with football.
Yeah, as I say, there's a little bit of bias in there.
And...
There is a little bit of bias in there being a fan of Sterling's career, and it's also.
But I'm not even like I think Sterling's been disrespected his whole career. You know that. I've said that. Yeah. I'm not saying that as a bad thing.
No,
that he's fallen out of love.
Exactly. You're saying because of the years he's put in, it's fair enough at this stage. But I think it's different because it's not apples and apples with the Sterling and Rashford thing, is because Sterling, for the most part at Chelsea, looked like he tried to be a consummate professional. What he was doing in the summer was saying as if I'm a guy that wants to play football.
Yeah.
It was Maresca, what's going on? I want to play football. Let me know if there's a place for me in this team. If not, I want to go to a team that's playing football. So I kind of came in to the season with Sterling with that aspect of it's different from Rashford, and obviously Rashford's playing good football now. We'll come on to him, but like over the summer and over the last year, through all the media stuff coming out, Man United were really making it seem as if Rashford was not really interested in it. And then Rashford's in New York, he's watching basketball and all this. He's a fake rapper, all this kind of stuff. Yeah. Just to finish off the Sterling thing, I just think that, like, yes, I can admit that Sterling obviously isn't the player that he once was and will never be that player again. And the level has dropped. But yesterday's performance, to be that bad, it's like Sterling can have dropped his level, but to be that bad, he doesn't even look like he knows what to do. Gabriel's played a nice little incisive pass into him, and he just can't even get that one under control.
Well, he's falling. Just fell over.
It just seems as if, like, I don't know.
But look, like, I mean, if we're gonna do anything, he'll have to give us something. So we'll see.
We'll see.
But on a more positive note, right, and a stark contrast, our other winger,
it couldn't be more stark.
Right? 17 years old, just coming into the game, right? And a lot of people making the comparison that Ethan currently is kind of what Sterling was when he broke on the scene at Liverpool and whatever, tearing it up.
Yeah, tearing it up. I wouldn't say they're the same player.
No, not like that, but they just in terms of the age. And Micah Richards has burst on the scene and whatever. Yeah, like the level that Ethan Nwaneri is at is absurd. Like I still just can't believe that Arsenal have this 17-year-old right winger who's come in through all of these injuries. And for me, the craziest thing about Ethan, is that, like, I expect young players to maybe come on the scene and show a bit of talent, Like Saka, when he first broke through, you could see some talent. Emile Smith-Rowe, you could see some talent. Even Garnacho, When Garnacho came through, I could see some talent. But the one thing that you also expect from young players...
Inconsistency.
Inconsistency, but also, like, primarily just... you'll be able to tell that they're a young player from their decision making.
So
like we look at Saka now, and 9 times out of 10, 10 times out of 10, he makes the right decision. Whether he needs to beat a man on the outside, whether he needs to come inside, whether he needs to put the ball in the box, take a shot, whatever it is. I mean, Garnacho on the other hand, we see make the wrong decision 9 times out of 10.
Quite often.
But even 17, he's just come into the team, and I think his decision making is so high quality. There wasn't any point in that game on Saturday
you thought he made the wrong
where
decision.
The ball came to Ethan and I thought he made the wrong decision.
Yeah, no, look, I agree with you. And I think a lot of that comes down to, unlike Saka, unlike, I don't know about Garnacho, I don't know about the United thing, but I think we've heard about Ethan for a very long time. Since he was like 15, 14, we've heard about Ethan, I just think that Ethan's played every game available to him
Mm.
from 15 until now. And like, it's not that much. It's only 2 years. But I think it does bring into this decision-making aspect of it all.
But
It's
all the
different
academy
level.
players do that now.
No. Well, yes and no.
They all play those games.
They play like for example, I think Saka would have played a lot of games
Yeah,
in the academy. Yeah. But I think Ethan would have played every game in the academy with the pressure of
You're the guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Emil Smith-Rowe?
Exactly. Well, Smith-Rowe would be there for sure.
Yeah.
Smith-Rowe would have had a similar trajectory if he could stay fit and all this kind of
We
stuff.
spoke about Reece and how Reece was.
Yeah, Reece was the guy.
Yeah.
I agree, but and maybe there is a little bit of Arteta and Per in it, but like I think the heavy touting from England, from Arsenal fans, from Per, from all this kind of stuff, like from 15, he's been told that he's this cerebral player and like he sees the whole game type stuff, and I just feel like it doesn't excuse.
But then there's the intangibles of like
seeing it at this level.
17-year-old come into the
exactly.
You've been told all of this.
Exactly, that's the difference.
Now you come and do it.
Seeing it like doing that from 15 to 17 at academy level when you're also the same age as everybody else is one thing. It's like, yes, it's a lot of pressure, and he's risen to that pressure and exceeded and done well. But to come to the men's game and you've got 30, Ayu's like 34, Vardy's 37.
I said to you, I thought Christensen, he's a big Scandinavian guy. I thought it could be a bit tricky for him.
These guys have had 12-year careers. They've had, 13, 14, 15-year careers in football, and you're twisting them up, and they don't know which way to go.
Never gone to, and
you're twisting them up. They don't know where to go. Christensen doesn't know what's your preferred foot. And, all of this kind of stuff. I think that's what really adds to his quality. And
obviously he has the quality in abundance.
But you're speaking specifically on the decision making that he has.
Just because for a young player, that's almost just the most shocking thing to me.
I think
the ball he puts in for Merino, like Timber's giving him the ball, he's put his soul on top of the ball, he's teed it up. He put one in for Declan Rice in the first half. Found Merino on the perfect spot. Even the step over when he crashes the post, when he comes inside and hits the shot off the crossbar.
And obviously, Ethan deserves all of the credit and praise, but how much of this is also Arteta just running back these lessons? Saka's out. Arteta said, this ball, you need to know this ball. You need to know.
And I said this to you the other day as well. I think with Saka when he came into the team, and if you took like Saka's first 10 games from when he came into the team, first 10 games, I think Ethan's making Arteta's job a bit easier than what Saka was.
Look, Ethan is 100% that guy. I would say my most shocking thing about Ethan is the mentality. I said it before, off and probably on air, about Ethan's mentality of like shots per game. Ethan can get 5 minutes in a football game and he will get a shot off. And I think that's the biggest thing that I love about Ethan, or what I'm maybe more shocked about Ethan, is the like not ready to settle for just possession and pretty football. And I'm here to really make a change. I'm here to really affect things. I'm here to get goals and assists. And I hope that doesn't get coached out of him or sort of dwindle as he grows in the game, because I think the reason he was so good versus Leicester was because at every point that he had the ball at his feet, we thought he could change the game. And he also thought that he could change the game. When it's 0-0.
After about the first 20, 25 minutes, when Ethan had got the ball 3 or 4 times, I started thinking, just funnel it out.
So I think that's for me my favourite / most shocking thing is like, and not to bash Odegaard unnecessarily, but there's players like Odegaard who can change a game. But I don't know if they carry themselves all the time with the mentality of I can change this game.
Yeah.
And it looks as if from what we've seen of Ethan so far is, we even saw it before in the Leicester cameo at the home leg when he's come on and I dribble past the man, get a shot off.
100%.
Like he thinks he is the guy to change the game, to get the goal, to get the assist.
The thing is, I don't know if, I feel like with Ethan, because of his age, there's just a level of fearlessness.
Yeah, I agree.
Of like, when I get the ball, I'm just going to do what I usually do. Which is still like a mentality aspect. But I feel like there's a difference between when Saka's on that pitch and Saka feels like,
I can change this game.
Yeah, or I need to change this game. I feel like for Ethan, it's almost just a bit currently of like, this is just how I play football on the street when I was growing up, and this is what I don't know if at 17 he feels that like pressure of the whole
No,
club of like,
so that's the thing.
This is on your shoulders.
So
whereas Saka would definitely feel that.
I agree with that. I do think Saka feels the pressure of the club. I don't think Ethan feels the pressure of the club on his shoulders to change the game, but his individual mentality is as such.
Yeah.
When it's a tight game and
because like you say, he's probably been doing that.
And there's a tight game and there's a goal in it. From the performance that we saw on Saturday and the performances we've seen before, Girona, all this kind of stuff. Ethan feels as if
I can do it.
I can be the difference.
Whereas Saka feels like I have to do it.
Yeah.
I think that's the difference.
Yeah. But I will say it looks the same. Not the same, but it looks very similar.
100%. I said to you on Sunday, I was like, it's not just me. It was because that ball was getting out there and I was thinking something's going to happen.
I'm telling you, the very first time that Ethan does the right foot roof of the net finish, it could even be keepers just not got a strong enough hand to it.
Side by side combo.
That will already be my favorite Ethan goal, and Ethan's already got a lot of screamers to his name. But the right-footed one where he shuffle.
I mean, if that one had gone in,
shuffle, step,
step over onto the right
corner.
Crash.
That's gonna be my favorite Ethan goal because if we have that pre-18 or just before at his 18th birthday, we already have a serious player on our hands, but. We have a serious player on our hands. If I start seeing those ones go in, and this is looking like he's adopting this one, it took Saka at least a season, 2 seasons to get that one.
Agreed. And look, for these next couple of games, like unfortunately the position we're in, Ethan, man, we're kind of pinning our hopes on you, which is wrong.
Merino,
you're 17.
That's it. That's the combo.
Yeah, this is where we are, and like you might just be good enough to keep us there. But we'll move it on. Look, like I said. Guys are here to hear us trash Chelsea. They went to the Amex on Friday. Valentine's Day, Armand went down to Brighton to sit in the Chelsea away end with his missus.
Tough times. With the missus as well.
All he got was an apology from Maresca.
That's terrible.
About the performance. But look, I mean, the life of the fan. Hopefully, Armand enjoyed this weekend in Brighton.
That's terrible.
But I thought
a quiet cab home.
Yeah, I thought this was a big game for Maresca and Chelsea to see if they were going to do anything this season. And the reason I say that is because having just been beaten by Brighton 6 days ago, you now go back there, right? And it's very much like, well, we're not going to let this team beat us twice.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
pride.
That would be Arteta's messaging. That would be Pep's messaging. Right, whoever it is, Herzler, even. Here, right? We're not going to let this team beat us twice, especially in the space of 6 days, and especially as like a Chelsea team. Yeah, obviously Chelsea fans are saying that they're not the same club anymore. But from the Chelsea that like we know, and we grew up watching them, whatever. Like, you don't let that happen.
Yeah,
right? You stamp your authority. You let them know who's boss.
It's very rare to see a team play each other twice in 6 days, 7 days, and.
Brighton as well.
Yeah.
Right? Like the hipster club.
Exactly. It's very rare.
The club that Chelsea took everything from to sporting directors and coaching staff. And before the game, I just thought that was a big game. And I just thought it could be damaging for Maresca if they don't win this game. Yeah, if they lose this game I just don't know where their season goes from this. And they held their biggest defeat.
To be honest, I was quite shocked that they lost this game as well. Like,
I wasn't shocked. But the way they lost, I was.
Maybe I was shocked by the scoreline. I thought Chelsea could lose this game, but in a narrow one.
Because we know that's a tough place.
Yeah, in a narrow one, 2-1, 3-2, that type of thing. I was shocked in the quote-unquote blowout nature of it. Minter scores the third one at the 60th, 4th minute, whatever it is. Game's done now. This is over. We've got half an hour to play, and it's Olays and all of this kind of stuff.
I pretty much knew that at half time.
And I agree with you that this is a very tough one for Maresca to take. I think it's an even tougher one for the fans to take. I think it's like, for Maresca himself as a Chelsea manager, it's a bad one to lose.
They had Armand calling up Robbie Savage.
Yeah. I think it's a bad one to lose, but Maresca, he's a championship manager, all of this kind of stuff. He's a young squad. I think Maresca is expecting up and downs, even though it's his job to coach through these up and downs. He's somewhat expecting it. I think for Chelsea fans, where it was like Poch finished 6th last season and you had a good run towards the end of the season to get you to 6th place.
And the message was that Poch got sacked because he didn't make
Champions League football. But you felt at the very end of the Poch season that you were building something. Yeah, that maybe Poch had just figured out his starting 11 and all of this kind of stuff. And then the Maresca sort of tenure started so well. And we were up there. We were second for a while. And we weren't putting ourselves in title talks, but we were happy to finish above Arsenal and the rest of them. That now when fans, it's like they've only won 2 games in the last 2 months or whatever it is, type stuff. Yeah, I think that's where it's tough to swallow. Where it's like we've seen. I don't know. And you know how Chelsea get. Chelsea see good things, and I think they just expect the rocket ship to continuously go up.
That's what's happened before.
Yeah, Chelsea, all of that.
Right, we start winning, and then we just don't stop.
Exactly.
Right.
And so this is why I think is really tough for Chelsea fans to take. And now, not even revisionism, but now we're getting the whole like, oh, well, Maresco's championship manager, the club bottled it in the first place, we're hiring him. I think it's tough.
Same thing happened at Leicester.
It's very tough for Chelsea fans to take like 2 steps forward and then 1 step back. That step back kills them, and they want to throw all of that on the team and the players and the manager. Maybe rightfully so.
There's been a lot of conversation on Maresca categorically saying that they weren't in a title race. Yeah, and I think Chelsea fans may be split on it. Some Chelsea fans think, well, we weren't in a title race and he was being honest and we're not good enough. And some Chelsea fans thinking, but you've just sapped all belief from the squad that we can at least compete. Yeah, or that we're at least there or thereabouts. Where do you stand on that?
I think this is such a nuanced question because Chelsea weren't in a title race. And I was saying that as a fan, I don't think Chelsea were in a title race. I also don't think...
But there was one point where I think middle of December, if they had won, they would have gone above Liverpool.
Yeah, I know. And the tough thing is, for example, if Maresca has come out at the start of the season after his good start and is saying, you know what, I think we can compete, how would they be talking about him now? If Maresca had come out and said, we can win a title, this team is good enough, and now you only won 2 games in 2 months. Like Arsenal fans, you see how on edge and critical and we crisis and we critique everything and we're 15 games unbeaten. You know? And Arteta's come out from the start of the season and said we're in a title race, so fans are judging the season on title contenders, what we need to do, what we should be doing. Why haven't we signed players? Title contenders would sign players type stuff. Yeah. If Maresca comes out and says we're title contenders and then doesn't win a game for 2 months, he is getting killed. We can't hold Chelsea and this Chelsea squad and the Chelsea manager to the same standards as Arsenal, even an Arne Slot who's done well, but the Liverpool squad is sort of established and it's not just been put together hodgepodge and all this kind of stuff. So I agree with that to a certain extent of Maresca like quelling title race talks, but top 4 talks.
But then the nuance part of that,
top 4 talks should have been there.
And this isn't necessarily my point of view because I think Maresca was probably tempering expectations. Like you say, Maresca probably knew that the squad wasn't good enough to go and win the league.
Yeah.
He probably knew that the squad was going to have a patch like
a period,
this.
yeah.
But the flip side of that argument is, well, they've had this patch since Maresca adamantly said we're not in the title race.
Yeah,
and if Maresca comes out and he backs the team and he gives them full faith,
do they have different results? You know, look, I completely agree that maybe that happens. I do think that every time Maresca said that we're not in a title race, he should have said that, but top 4 is my aim. I want to finish top 4.
Yeah.
The squad is good enough to finish top 4. He should have that sort of floor of what he's expecting from the players and that the fans can judge him off.
Especially after the start they had.
So when Maresca had the floor and fans still went on the title race, but we're in a top 4 race, and then Maresca's come out and said top 4 wasn't my ambition set by the club at the beginning of the season. And now Chelsea fans are like, well, what's the point of getting rid of Poch then? If we didn't even ask this guy to get top 4, why would we get rid of Poch? I thought we were building something with Poch. Poch has Premier League experience. Poch works well with young players and a young squad, and Poch knows what he's doing, all this kind of stuff. So that's the thing with Maresca, where it's like, I agree with him to a certain extent of not saying that Chelsea are title challengers. They've just finished like 8th and 8th or whatever it is, 2 seasons in a row. So for Chelsea to just go on and win the league is tough. Put that expectations on players like Noni and all these guys. You don't even have a striker. Maresca's probably not thinking my squad is complete. How can I go and say we're going to win a title? However, I do think to a certain extent that the players or the fans who are saying that like he's taken away all expectations from players are true.
Yeah.
If Maresca, and maybe internally Maresca is drilling this down, top four,
Yeah.
top four, top four.
Yeah.
But Maresca should be telling fans that I am trying to get top four. I am looking to get top four.
Yeah.
But it gets it gets tougher and tougher to say I'm trying to get top four when you don't have a win, week on week on week on week.
Yeah.
It's tougher to come out and say, yeah, but top four was the aim. Top four was the
his
aim.
interview after the game was uncomfortable. The reporter was sticking it on him with the questions she was asking.
And you know what? It's tough as well because football is that kind of sport where it's like the season is long and goalposts can shift. Yeah. But when Chelsea slapped Maresca with a 5-year deal and you've just hired a championship manager, what really, really are the aims? Maresca he's shown to be himself to be a decent manager, but what really are the aims? He's competing with other managers like, Unai Emery and Eddie Howe and Pep's competing for a fourth spot and Nuno, like, whatever you think of, even Iriola, Eddie Howe and Nuno, they're all Premier League managers.
Yeah.
Proven.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, what are the aims if Chelsea have decided to give a championship manager a 5-year deal? It can't be title.
But then the money spent on that squad.
And that's the thing. That's why Chelsea are such a unique club, is because
it's like if you spend 1.6 billion, regardless of the context, you should be competing for the title.
You're competing for something. Yeah.
The title, really, right?
And I would agree with that. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money spent. But I've never seen Chelsea hand a manager a 5-year deal. Yeah. So they must be thinking
Maresca's their guy.
That for the long term.
And that's why Maresca's coming out and saying that the long-term project, top four is the target next year.
Yeah.
Right? but Maresca doesn't seem to understand his fan base.
Yeah.
Because that's not going down well.
And also, it's the same thing with the club. Is like, as much as Maresca's probably feeling happy he's got a 5-year deal, I've never seen a club happier to pay a manager off than Chelsea.
Yeah, Potter.
I've never seen I've never seen a club happier to pay a manager off. Maresca could go 18 months into his 5-year deal and still have 3 years paid for by the club, and they'll do that if they think that the next guy's going to come in, and win the trophy.
And look, one guy that even when Chelsea were right up there, point behind Liverpool, 2 points behind Liverpool, I came on this pod and I said they won't be in the title race because of their 2 centre backs and their goalkeeper. Jorgensen came in for this game. He looked a bit shaky.
He's conceded 3.
Chalobah we can get onto, but Levi Colwill. I will never miss an opportunity
to get onto Levi.
They put you in Saliba conversations.
Levi.
They put you in Gabriel conversations.
The
way Levi Colwill appeals for a foul on that third goal. You're a centre back. Real men. Yeah, real men centre back.
I agree with you.
Falling down like that.
You've got to do better.
And then you've refused to get up.
And it's not even it's not even, in my mind anyway, it's not even a 50-50 call that it's not gone his way. It's never a foul.
Never. Welbeck hasn't even pulled his shirt or done anything.
It's never a foul. It's never a foul. But Levi, for me, is one of the most hipster players in the Premier League.
I told you, Amon calls him a TikToker, isn't it?
Like, when things are going well for Levi, that period that's just gone by when Chelsea are winning games, and they're not even keeping clean sheets, but they're winning games.
Because if Levi does the Saliba thing, I don't need to defend this. I'll play when I have the ball. But Saliba does it more than Colwill, obviously. Yeah, he defends more than Colwill. But that's who Colwill is.
Colwill's got I'm gonna let this bounce, and I'm gonna try and hit this one on the half volley.
Sidewide it.
But I think Colwill's a hipster player because when Chelsea are in winning form, and as I say, they're not even keeping clean sheets, but they're in winning form, Levi Colwill was in all sorts of conversations. What he's done, I'm seeing the stats guys talk about Levi's progressive passes and most passes by a centre back in the league, pass completion and mid-range to short range. The ratio is unbelievable.
Yeah,
but then when Chelsea haven't won a game in 2 months,
Chelsea have kept 4 clean sheets all season.
What?
They have 4 clean sheets in the league all season. Tottenham have 6.
Oh, so this is my point.
Tottenham have had, and how we get onto Van der Ven and Romero.
And Levi, he's not as protected as other players in the league. Don't get it twisted. But I just don't ever feel like there's the appreciation for Levi's clown moments as there are for when.
Because he's got the Saliba skin face.
Yeah, exactly.
But for me, Levi Colwill makes it easy to get onto him because of all of that stuff. Like, he makes it so abundantly obvious that he wants to play when we have the ball.
And yeah, Chelsea fans, he's taken Thiago Silva's number, Thiago Silva's protege, and all of this kind of stuff.
And when he has the ball,
it's good. He's a good player.
He's maybe not that far off Saliba, right? But when Colwill doesn't have the ball,
he's asked
he just
to
wants to
defend.
be a clown.
Colwill is 100%, and this is why I can't put him in Saliba conversations. But
yeah, obviously,
Colwill is 100% a B-side centre back, and Colwill could be a very good B-side centre back.
Yeah,
but he's a B-side centre back. I believe Saliba.
But if you put him next to Gabriel and say Gabriel was right-footed,
yeah, calm.
I think Maresca might tell us they're in the title race.
You're looking at a very good centre-back partnership.
He might tell us they're in the title race.
So he's like Colwill for me in my mind, and this might be harsh to say, but his ceiling is to be the best Robin in the league to a Batman centre-back.
Yeah. Or Levi can even... Because we won't get into this about Gabriel and Saliba and A-side and B-side, right? But Levi can almost look like the A-side, right? If he has the Gabriel piece next to him, aerial duels, crashing into guys, doing everything that Levi doesn't want to do, hence Gabriel and Saliba, he can almost make him, you know how they're, like we're saying, the skin fade, the PR,
all of this.
Levi's out balls, and he can almost, guys might perceive him as the A-side.
The only bail I'll shoot Levi, and this is like, to like, I know Chelsea fans kissing their teeth and rolling their eyes and all this kind of stuff. The only bail I'll shoot Levi is obviously he's a young defender.
Yeah, I think he's only like 21, 22.
Yeah, obviously he's a young defender, so he's got to learn his trade and he can make leaps and bounds from there. And two, been dicked around a bit. He's played 3 seasons now under 3 different managers, all playing different styles. Yeah. Maybe Maresca and De Zerbi is the most connected.
Poch played him left back.
Exactly. Poch played him left back, so he wasn't even a centre-back last season. Obviously, when De Zerbi was playing, it's a whole different thing. Playing De Zerbi ball as a defender. And now you've got Maresca's thing. Yeah. So maybe there is a little bit, but that doesn't excuse the letting the ball bounce. That, like the Danny Welbeck thing.
Yeah, the foul.
That's systemless. That doesn't matter what system you're in. You've just got to do better there. But in terms of the point I'm making about Levi's overall play and Levi as a defender, the only bail I assume is he's young and he's had 3 different managers. If Maresca's here next season and Levi's had 2 managers under the same season playing the same consistent style, I need to see a bit more to have Levi in the conversations.
No, that's fair because he is very, very young. But that's just a message to Chelsea fans to like
chill.
Yeah, relax.
But they've spent 50 mil or 60 million.
1.6 billion. They need a goalkeeper, 2 centre-backs, a midfield player and a striker. They need a whole spine. But we can't finish this game without talking about Kaoru Mitoma. And what was one of the best goals of the season. I couldn't believe that after the touch and the second touch, and then he's found the bottom corner.
Yeah.
Carragher called it Messi like... It was special goal.
I also want to say, and I know this was used for the Ethan thing, but we need to just stop throwing out the Messi stuff.
Yeah.
Kaoru Mitoma has done very, 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 very well.
But you know what? If you're gonna throw the Messi thing out for anything,
at least let it be that. Yeah,
that's that. I'm not too mad at that.
I've got to be honest. I don't even know if I've seen Messi score that goal.
I mean, he's watching it drop.
The finish, I've seen Messi do that many times, but the touch.
Then the second one immediately inside. And
now Mitoma's balling. It's an incredible goal. Obviously, he scored 2 goals in 6 days versus Chelsea. He's sort of a thorn in their side. Danny Welbeck came out and spoke about the needle.
Yeah.
So it's good from Hurstler, man. I mean, I can't imagine I've come here and I've said that, we didn't win versus Hurstler this season, but we didn't lose versus Hurstler this season. And I can take that. Because I think, and I rate Hurstler, but any loss versus Hurstler and the ChatGPT AI tactics that Hurstler has going on down there in Brighton is a tough one. It's a very, very tough one to take.
Well, I'm on feeling it.
It's a very, very tough one to take. And obviously, shout out Minter. 2 goals.
Yeah, 2 goals. Well played, Minte. Look, Man City, they lost to Real Madrid midweek from the Vinny, Rigo, Jude, ding, bang, just snatch and grab. We'll go back to Bernabeu with the lead. We're 2-1 down in 85th minute, and we'll go with a 3-2 win. Right, but they bounced back versus Newcastle on Saturday. I watched this game, or at least the first half, and they were 3-0 up. Marmoush scored, I think it was a 13-minute hat-trick.
Is it?
And he looked like he's looked good. in games. We said even after the Chelsea game, we thought they were glazing him a bit too much.
Yeah.
But he looked nice. When we played them, he had some nice, but he's almost looked nice in moments, right? Rather than like a
full.
But in this performance, it was a very, very good performance. He looked like a good player.
No, shout out to Marmoush for getting the hat trick. I'm like a fan of his in the sense of like, I don't know.
I'm his biggest fan this week.
Yeah, exactly. In the sense of like, I don't hate him.
Yeah.
I like the fact that there's another Egyptian guy in the league. Remember how Arsenal fans used to get off that Mo, and then it is the best Egyptian in the league, and you know, they used to bait Arsenal, not Arsenal fans, but football fans, and Egyptian superstar is going to leave at the end of the season, and it's just Mo Nene's
contract running out for Egyptian superstar.
So I like the fact that we've got another one of those, and I like Marmoush in the sense of like he proper tries to do things on the pitch. For all the games I've seen Marmoush, he's got like 3 shots off in every game. I'm trying to test hands. I'm trying to reach the corner. All of this kind of stuff. Pep's come out and said the high line is for him.
Yep. And in this game, City looked good. The Marmoush, Haaland, Savinho, like it looked dangerous. It looked like a constant threat. Obviously, I don't know how like consistent that's going to be because that was almost like Savinho's had some good games this season, to be fair, but that was almost like the best game I've seen them play, right? Like Haaland didn't score, but he was involved and he was linking up the play. And it looks like they've got something there if they can keep going with that. But more importantly, they had Nico Gonzalez play. And it wasn't even like to me that I thought Nico Gonzalez was played well or that I even really noticed him.
Yeah.
Because on the goals, it's the first one's an Edison assist, and like but it does kind of prove the point that like it. And I said this a couple months ago. It's not just Rodri; it's that Kovacic is not a DM, right? Like we always describe Kovacic as nice, and that's about it.
He's not a DM. Neither is Gundo.
He's nice, and that's about it. You once said that Kovacic is Kaka in the first phase, which I still can't believe you said that.
Watch the tapes.
No. Kovacic is nice. That's
Real Madrid, Kovacic, like Inter Milan, Kovacic, Real Madrid, Kovacic. First 6 months of Chelsea, Kovacic. Ball carrying.
Well, you said that after you went to Man City.
The ball carrying that Kovacic was on.
Yeah, but look, I'm just since he's been at Man City, that's how I think that's.
But now he's 30 plus. He's 30, but he's look,
regardless, Kovacic, he's just not a DM, right? So I think as much as it's everyone's like, oh, it's no Rodri. I just think they didn't have a natural DM to go and put in that position, right? Nico Gonzalez has come in there, and all of a sudden it just looks a bit more stable. It just looks a bit better.
I do agree with that point. Like, obviously, a 6 is like the most important position for Pep and all the stuff you have to do. And it was Fernandinho before and Rodri now, and those were like top 10 midfielders in the Premier League of all time type stuff, conversations. Anyway, but I agree with your point, but also have little sympathy for Pep.
I'm not saying
I know. You've not come out and said that. Hey,
I'm just saying that it just seems to look better now.
It does.
I mean, they've gone and beat Newcastle 4-0.
But
just because they've got a body there.
It'll be the exact same thing for Arsenal when Arsenal finally sign a striker and stop losing to Villa and stop losing to Newcastle. And that chance we get in that game we just take and it opens things up. Like Pep had the Calvin Phillips thing that didn't work. He's had chances. He's going to spend another 100, 200 mil in the window and finally brought in a DM. And it does look better for him. I mean, I need to see more. Unfortunately, I didn't watch the game, so I need to see more of Nico Gonzalez to see, like, is it just the position that he has? Is it like a Merino thing where if Pep just has a body up there that fits a certain sort of profile?
Well, I'm pretty sure he's going to start 2 primetime games this week.
And
so
I'll be there for both.
Yeah, you can judge.
Yeah. But, I mean, I was kind of happy that City won this one. I'm rooting for Newcastle's demise for several reasons. And then, obviously, what Pep does now, it's kind of good to even have an Arsenal season where what Pep does now doesn't really...
Yeah, agreed.
Doesn't really get onto me, doesn't really affect me in any way, shape or
points.
Form. And
we don't need to buck you again.
Yeah, season before, 2 seasons before, 4-0 win at Newcastle for City would have irked me. I would have been very annoyed by that. But
that would have been the start of the 14-15 game winning run.
But now I'm just like, oh, whatever goes. That's Kuzanov's face. Kuzanov was playing.
I don't mind seeing Newcastle lose. I enjoy it.
I also do think though that I am hesitant on two things. Like I'm hesitant to say that City are back because we've done this.
Yeah. No, I'm not saying that.
We've done this like 3 times now, 4 times now, 5 times now. We've said City win a game and we say City are back, and then they drop points at Brentford, and we say City are back, and then they drop points at PSG, and then we say City are back, and so I'm hoping for something from the Liverpool game. I really am, not just because it affects Arsenal in the title race, but I really just can't imagine Pep to have his chain snatched like that by Slot. Slot's just going to get 6 points off you.
Yeah.
In his first season in the Premier League, just going to let this Dutch manager come and grab 6.
Like, they're not back for sure, but I think they're going to look better.
Yeah,
they look more stable.
The bench look good.
The
bench look
they're
like...
saying Ake and Diaz are in training
today.
Akanji's
out now.
Yeah, Akanji's out, but Ake and Diaz are back. Obviously, Gavardio, Christian Stones. I just think they'll look a bit better. I expect them to make top 4.
I expect them to make top 4 as well.
But the Sunday showcase 4:30 game, El Modico, whatever you want to call it, Tottenham versus Man United, and we watched this game together. And in the second half, we were calling it Palace versus Wolves.
Yeah. It was
the quality,
object of quality, man,
was on the floor. It was an absolutely one of the worst. I watched the Palace Everton game on Saturday night. I think that probably had more quality.
And this game typically has goals in it. There's goals in all the previous fixtures of this game. There's some decent and juicy scorelines in this, but it was very much like one of the first times I was watching Man United and Tottenham play versus each other and being like, yeah, by the way, it makes complete sense why they're 13th and 14th or 14th and 15th. Wherever it was, I think.
These are 2 teams that are 14th and 15th. Like, it's not surprising.
The quality on display in that game, I think even the managerial quality display on that game was so below the level. It felt like almost a Man United Chelsea game of some sorts.
Yeah.
It was so
notoriously terrible.
So below the level. Fair play to Tottenham. Fair play to Ange. Ange got one at home.
Yeah.
Madison's got something to say about.
They detached themselves from the shit.
For a little bit. Something to say about his rivals.
Madison came out posting a TikTok and he was telling Roy Keane to shush.
Tottenham can lose the next one. I always say this. Tottenham can lose the next one.
But also, is that not just like very Madders?
Yeah. I saw the Hoffenheim post.
Amon told me Madders is so Spursy.
I saw the Madders post off great win versus Hoffenheim. Great to see the lads come back. And then you lose the game on the weekend. And it's cricket. Madders is out sore.
Ipswich next.
Ipswich away.
6 points. Ipswich can take 6 points.
So, I mean, just on this game, the game itself, there's not much to say. It's just a win that keeps Ange in the job. Last week, we were kind of discussing when Ange will go. I don't know. I can't say he's going to get to the end of the season, but I also do think there comes a point where when there's 10 games to go and you're not going to get relegated and you're not going to make a European position, I don't even know if a managerial change is beneficial. Like, Ange could make it to the end of the season, not because he's done a good job, but just because...
I think he will make it to the end of the season.
Just because it doesn't make sense to logically get rid of him now. And
Ryan Mason's not better than him.
But as I say, it's not even necessarily being about Ryan Mason being better. Like, if they beat Ipswich, and that's a big if, you could be relatively safe, depending on how other results go, and also not a threat for Europe. You're going to be a Crystal Palace thing, just 12th, 13th, 14th. And it's like, what's the point in bringing in Mason for 6 months? We can just see Ange out to the end of the season. I don't know what Ange's contract is saying, but we can see Ange out to the end of the season and then do this properly and not be a complete shit show and just get rid of a manager with 10-8 games to go and like...
Yeah. And also, they probably won't get the one that they want now.
Yeah.
There's no point in bringing him in now.
Yeah. I still, it's such a weird game to analyze because I can't even speak about Tell and Dan. So like, it's even tough to really judge, if they're level raisers for Tottenham. Tell's going back in 6 months.
Yeah.
But it's tough. I'm not really seeing much in the games that they've played to be like, okay, this is going to work for Tottenham or this is not going to work for Tottenham. I think a lot of what they've done has just stayed the same. I think the more interesting piece really is the Man United piece. And
yeah. Well, I was going to say, Because I agree. Literally, that all I was going to say on Tottenham. Credit to Anne, credit to Tottenham. You detached yourselves from the shit for a bit. You play Ipswich next week, and
we'll see.
We'll see.
Yeah.
See. But really, for you lot, you need to go and beat Ipswich, and you need to go on a bit of a run here and whatever. Amorim, or as they're calling him, Ruben Amorim, and United are 15th.
Yeah, it's crazy.
With the trip to Goodison next.
It's crazy.
15th.
And the trip to Goodison, in which Goodison can create separation.
4 points between them.
Not just like our trip to Goodison and, you know, like...
If Wolves can get a win.
Yeah.
I said Amorim, just because you've told United fans that a storm is coming. So United fans... That seems to be, but Amorim told us this was going to happen. But so if Arteta tells us that we don't have the forwards to win the league or whatever, and we don't win the league, then it's all just calm.
At least we were told.
Maresca told Chelsea fans we're not in a title race. They're not in a title race. It's all calm. Like, that doesn't make it okay.
I think
the way you man are losing games.
Like, Amorim is obviously a very shaky manager. Well, I can't say obviously. Amorim is so far a shaky manager in the Premier League, but I do think that right now what we're seeing is a product of bad, like, everything. Culture at the top, managerial decisions, director decisions. They forced Amorim to take the job now, told him now or never, join the club at one of our worst periods. Amorim's joined.
Yep.
Yeah. In my mind, Amorim is saying that this is my style of football, that this is my play. I'm not going to deviate from this. The guys I bring in are going to come and play this football. Yeah. Amorim is holding on just to get to the end of the season to then not shake things up tactically, but player-wise. And I can bring in guys who will play the system, who will understand what I want from them, and who won't have the Man United baggage, all of this kind of stuff. And it seems as if the players are also just waiting for the end of the season to see if they can get a move or see if something can change. We've got 14 games to go, or 13 games to go. It's not like we're right there towards the end of the season. We've just got 5 more games, 3 more games, and it's all said and done. But it seems as if the performances we're getting out of Man United and the comments we're getting from Amorim, he wants the end of the season bad to make like open heart surgery changes to the squad. And a lot of the squad want the end of the season bad.
But then there's a lot of talk that like United obviously have some financial troubles and issues in the minute. Like, how much is Amorim going to get to do in the summer? What do you think of this? Like, obviously, the one thing everyone's going to throw at him is that he needs to adapt.
Yeah.
And I agree he needs to adapt, but a lot of people think that adapt is change formation.
Yeah.
Which, personally, I don't... Like, if he wants to stand on his principles and his formation and what got him here, I think that's cool.
I think that's...
right?
Yeah.
So, but do you think he needs to change? He needs to go to a 4-2-3-1?
I don't think he needs to change and go to a 4-2-3-1. I don't think he needs to do any of that. I think he needs to adapt in the sense of his maybe man management and what he's conveying to the players. Because I don't know if the players right now are all the way bought in to the 5 at the back thing. Yeah, but Amorim, and I agree with you, when Amorim's interviewed for this job, Amorim's brought his sporting deck over. And he said that, hey, this is what I've been doing at Sporting.
This is how I play.
I play this. These are the type of players I've been using. When this player signed with me, he was this kind of player, and now he's valued at this kind of player. And so, like, Amorim, I get why Amorim doesn't want to change. You've hired me to do this job because I told you this is what I do.
Exactly.
So for Amorim to come and now be Ten Hag and play 4 at the back and start doing some Dutch football and all this kind of stuff, when that doesn't work, he's gone and he has no leg to stand on. And it's over and done with him. But he does need to adapt in the sense of you've got players at the club right now who, even though in your mind you've already axed this player, he's not going to be your player next season. There's 14 games to go.
Yeah.
Like, you need to adapt in the sense of get this guy on board. Do what it takes to get this guy on board to at least play a bit more of your system or do his job within your system, and then you can go from there. But it almost seems as if they're two stubborn people. Like, Amorim's stubborn in his tactics and the way he wants to do things, and then the squad are stubborn in what they want to hear and how they want to be treated. And like,
but we've known that about the United players,
and we've known that about the United players for a while. So that's why it's less of an Amorim thing of like, if Amorim's come and tried to set standards and set levels, and yet again, the same culprits are saying, I'm not really sure about that level. I don't know if I want to get to that level. I don't know if I want to do those things
if I
in
want
training.
to do that this shift,
Yeah.
run forward and back.
Exactly. I'm not sure if that's all for me.
Yeah.
Then it's a players type thing, but for Man United fans, for a Man United fan, it's so tough right now. You're stuck in the middle of a manager who wants the end of the season and the players who want the end of the season with 13 games to go.
Yeah.
Like,
you can see why Amorim wanted to come
at the end.
when he's got a pre-season,
and Amorim would have, as you say, they've got
and
PSR issues, so there's no guarantee that it's just going to be like a 12-man haul and all new signings type stuff. But Amorim can at least see the full breadth of the situation and what moves can be made, what can be done. Right now, it's like, bro, I'm sure Amorim is hating it just as much as the players are hating it. I think there's this sort of but Amorim's playing his style and the players hate it more.
Yeah.
I'm sure Amorim is hating it way more than the players are hating it.
Well, he said after the game, innit, my job here is so hard. so hard. And look, my main thing on this, is that United fans believe that there is a United way and fast wingers and counter-attacking football and pace, and which is cool.
Yeah.
Right? If you guys believe that and that is what the United way is, then that's fine. But Amorim might not have that in that direct sense because he doesn't play that formation.
It won't look the way you want it to look.
Yeah. But realistically, his wing backs, the way I think he wants to play a system, are wingers. Yeah. So that shouldn't be so my big thing on this is that I don't think it's a case of, because guys are saying, like I heard even Robbie saying that it was nasty work. He listed a bunch of teams from the Portuguese league, He was like SC Vitória, Rio Ave, and all of these teams, and he left out Porto, Braga, and he was like, those are the teams in the Portuguese league that Amorim's system has worked against, and maybe in the Premier League he's realizing that you can't play five at the back, and I don't think any of that's true.
Yeah, Nuno's third in the table.
Yeah. Right, even Thomas Frank's been doing what he's been doing, and Thomas too. It's not, for me, it's not a case of five at the back doesn't work in the Premier League now, because it only worked when Conte was here, but now the league's just so much further advanced. And I don't believe that.
I don't believe that either.
I don't believe that the formation is a problem, right? However, I do believe that Amorim might be a problem, because I believe Amorim might just not be good enough. I'm not saying that categorically he isn't, but from what I've seen so far, I think the formation's getting more stick than Amorim.
Yeah,
right? But I think Amorim deserves more stick because if it's Thomas Tuchel, if it's Simone Inzaghi, and they come to the Premier League and they play five at the back, we've seen Tuchel do it. We've seen what Inzaghi does I don't think you're looking at it and you're saying five at the back can't work in the Premier League.
I mean, I agree with that wholeheartedly, that five at the back can work in the Premier League, and I think that I agree that the system is getting more hate than Amorim, but that was coming from match day one.
Yeah,
remember before
you said your mate, don't give him the keys.
Five
at the back.
That was coming. Even Jerry, I keep calling them the same name. Jamie and Gary were saying before the game versus Ipswich, there was all these question marks about the system they drew versus Ipswich. The system is gonna have to change. Like, the media had already decided that this system, we're going to crucify this system before we come into the job. And for me, it still leans back to Amorim's sort of mentality. Like, I understand Man United fans being angry at Amorim. I think it's really tough to judge Amorim as a manager, because the first 6 months of the season, he was at Sporting doing a good job, beat Pep, all of this kind of stuff. Amorim hype.
Flying in Champions League.
Amorim hype. Like, it's up there. Amorim's this guy. He's one of them. He's one of them ones. If any Man United fan at the time could have chosen their next manager, Amorim would have been one of the 3 or 4 names that they mentioned.
And where Amorim maybe gets more grace is Ten Hag was that as well. And look what they did to Ten Hag.
You feel me? So I do hear it now more than ever about the players and how we need to get the players out. But as I say, you come back to this unhappy marriage, bro. You got 2 guys in an unhappy marriage, players and manager. But like, the kids are still in middle school. The kids are still the kids are still in year
and
9 or whatever
can't
it
just
is.
keep losing games.
And he can't just keep losing games.
Like we watched Juve Inter
on the
weekend, yeah. We didn't watch Simone Inzaghi's Inter play 5 at the back and think this is mad defensive. And we saw Inter crash the crossbar and Lautaro miss a chance and Dumfries back post headers and Marco balls in the box.
I think Amorim has to be given the opportunity to build his squad.
I think there's an idea in England that if you play a 5 at the back system, you're negative and you're defensive. And like, I understand why they think that, but I don't necessarily think that's true.
I do think it hinges.
Inzaghi ball is one of the most entertaining to watch.
I do think it hinges a lot on your
squad building
and wing backs in particular.
Yeah.
Because Inzaghi's got electric wing backs that can get up and down DeMarco and
make
Dumfries.
It entertaining.
Like Dumfries, I would consider him maybe a defensive wing back, but at the same time, he's a goal threat.
If you're telling me Dumfries is playing in a back 5, I'm saying he's playing right centre back. Not right wing back.
But Dumfries is also somehow a goal threat, and he's the one who's crashing the posts and
hitting
he's
the crossbar back post headers and
he's doing all of this kind of stuff. So it makes it an attacking system, or can be an attacking system. And I think Amorim is trying to get there, but I think there's also this unhappy marriage again, not just with the squad and Amorim, but also with the directors. Who was the guy? Edwards. Was it Michael Edwards? Who was the guy? Not Michael Edwards. That's Liverpool.
The Ineos.
Ineos, the guy that left.
Dan Ashraf.
Signed Amorim. Dan Ashraf is now gone. Is Amorim going to get the signings he wants? Is Amorim going to be fighting Ineos guys to get what he wants? Is Dorgu number 1 option for them? Or is Dorgu just going to be a squad player type of stuff? Yeah. And this will be massive for Amorim, for me, moving into the next season. Is I won't give him as much grace as I'm giving him now this season, because he's come into a shit show. Yeah. However, after a summer of transfers, be it all his transfers or a couple of his transfers and a couple of the club's transfers, coming into next season, you've had now 6, 7, 8, 9 months, two windows to exchange guys. I shouldn't be seeing this kind of like nothingness.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what Man United fans are complaining about the most. Is it's just boring.
I mean, to be honest, I don't think I should be seeing that now.
It's just boring to watch Man United.
Regardless of players in and players out.
It's true.
United shouldn't be 15.
And Amorim he hasn't helped himself. He's got rid of Rashford. He's got rid of some guys. Sancho, who well, it wasn't Amorim, but he's got rid of some guys who Man United as a club have got rid of some guys who can provide that spark.
Yeah. Like
maybe you're defensively rigid, but if Rashford's back in the goal,
Anthony's 3 and 3.
Yeah, you know, if any of these guys is providing the goal, the assist that you need, obviously United fans would take that.
Yeah. And I want to make it categorically clear, my defence here is not of Amorim. My defence is of the system and the formation. I think the system and the formation can work, but I think Amorim's doing a very poor job right now.
Yeah, and my defence here is of Amorim in the sense of I actually have more question marks around the system at United.
Like, I gave Amorim worst manager of the season. You gave it to Ten Hag.
Yeah, I gave it to Ten Hag.
So Man United fans, just hold that for a minute. Yeah, right. Both your managers.
I've come and said that I don't really, truly know.
What's the stat? They were 4 points off
top four.
Top four when he joined. Came in.
Yeah. Exactly. I don't truly know that 5 at the back does work at Man United. I think it can work in the league. You can win the league 5 at the back. No doubt. But I've just never seen that work at United. Not to say that it can't work. I've never seen it work
anywhere other than Chelsea. Really, for a top
fair. But I think the system at United for me just doesn't look right. But for the right manager, you can make it work. And this is where your doubts over Amorim come on. I have doubts over the system. I think Amorim's a good manager. I think Amorim, if he had got a hold of a Tottenham team and he's playing Jed Spence at wing back and you know, he might bring Reguilon in and he gets a tune out of Reguilon because Reguilon can be I'm not decent wing back, but he knows the role type stuff. We might be saying
Kulu,
exactly. Yeah. We might be saying
squad profile
works for this system. I just don't think at Man United it does work. Nor will I think Man United will get a 5 at the back system signings right, and then Amorim will go, and Man United will be squad building again, but only with 4 or 5 central defenders, 3 wing backs.
And Amorim will probably go and succeed.
Yeah. And if we go to another team, not Tottenham, but he'll go to another team with a profile that can work with the 5 at the back system.
Agreed.
It's a real nightmare. And Ineos, man, we guys had their question marks about Ineos and Sir Jim and what's Sir Jim going to do. And I remember saying at the time that it seems a bit ludicrous for Sir Jim to take on the footballing responsibilities at United because you take on all the brunt of the criticism and everything. Now, the top dogs, the Glazers and those guys get to make the revenue and receive zero back. Like, it's like Levy's perfect. Like Levy's dreaming to get where the Glazers are. I don't have any backlash over footballing decisions because this guy's come to pay me 15 bill or whatever it was. To
take 25% and just hold the football operations. Be responsible for all of that. But yeah, look, that was it. Those are the games we're going to cover this week. So MVP and Rookie of the Week. My first MVP, my boy, my guy, MR9.
MR9.
Marcus Rashford. I'm watching. I backed you. I'm here. I'm watching.
He's been balling. He's been balling. He's been balling.
Past players, step overs, coming inside. It doesn't look like you're training badly anymore.
No, he's been balling. I'll give an MVP to Timber. We didn't speak about him in the Arsenal thing, but I thought Timber, not just like Leicester, but for the last couple of weeks, has been putting in some really decent performances for us. And like Arsenal fans are where they are in the season and where they are with it, but I think we can all be happy with the fact that Timber's been able to hit this level and not get injured and
deserved the rest coming up.
Yeah, exactly. Post ACL, I'll give him an MVP for sure. You held it down.
I've got David Moyes. He's gone to sell us. He's won again. I think they're pretty much safe. I mean, if they beat Man United next week, I think
100%.
No one's going to catch them.
Yeah.
There's a stat that Moyes has picked up more points
than
Amorim, and he came a month later.
Yeah. It's like Moyes' fourth game.
Yeah. So, yeah, shout out David Moyes again. I don't really know how Everton are doing it because, like, Palace rattled the crossbar and they hit the post, and Pickford's made the save, and Tarkowski's made the block, and then they just snatch it at the end, and they go and win 2-1.
I'll shout out Bournemouth. Bournemouth had a very good win, only because everybody else lost. Like Newcastle lost and Chelsea lost and Forest lost. So shout out Bournemouth for making up the distance and putting themselves firmly into the we're competing for Europe type places. I think Hurstler does deserve a shout out. Beating Chelsea twice in 7 days. Matoma, of course.
Yep, great goal. Iwobi and Bassi.
Yeah. Snapchat derby. Snapchat derby. I'll give them love for that. Any other MVPs? That's a decent amount of MVPs.
Yeah, I think for rookies, 2 guys we've spoken about, I've got Amorim and Colwell.
Yeah, that's fair. I will kind of go Unai Emery, and this is only because of the pattern.
Yeah, I think that's a fair one.
Like kind of like I've just given Bournemouth an MVP. Emery, I don't know how. You're a good manager. I rate you. I rate your squad building, all this kind of stuff. I'm not here to really dig you out, but I don't know how you keep missing these opportunities, bro, to just really solidify.
Ipswich were down to 10 men after 40 minutes.
Bro, I don't even think they're beating Ipswich this season. I swear they Ipswich drew with
draws.
So it's like there's these games that come along. Wolves, I'm pretty sure you drew with Wolves or something. They lost to Wolves. There's these games that come along where it's like, I think Villa should win this one and progress and move up the table and sort of really solidify a place. And then Emery just doesn't do it. And I'm sure they'll beat Chelsea. But that will feel good.
Well, they got Liverpool first.
Yeah, well, hopefully, yeah. I'm sure they'll win one of the next 2 games between Liverpool and Chelsea. But the win would have felt so much more if you'd beaten Ipswich.
Taking a 3 point, 100%.
You know? So I'll give him a rookie for sure.
Anyone else?
Nah.
James Maddison, does he get a rookie?
Nah, he's won a game at United. You can't get
but the
TikTok stuff is, but that's mad as I expect it from Madders. Even the dart celebration.
You want to come for Roy Keane?
I think the dart celebration.
You know what Roy Keane's response is going to be?
Win the trophies.
Put your medals on the table.
Yeah, exactly. I think the dart celebration is so cringe, and it does.
Yeah, but he followed that up with the.
It does say it all. It does say it. Madders' celebration for winning 4 games is to play darts.
Tottenham are now 13 because of that win.
I won't go as far as to give Ange an MVP, but no.
Good win. All right, cool. Look, thank you guys for listening. Like I said, if you are watching this, please subscribe, please like, leave a comment on anything that you think we've said today that might be wrong, that might be right. Is Amorim the problem? Is the system the problem? How much time does he need?
Merino. Let us know.
Merino. Can we run that to the end of the
Marine
season?
9.
Yeah, can we
Where do you
push
stand?
that?
Does does Sterling start?
Yeah.
Your confidence guy?
What level is Ethan at? Joe Cole compared him to Messi, and is that too far? It probably is, but let us know. Thank you guys for listening, and we'll see you next week. Peace.